which advice would you give to your first year student nurse self?
So in my first year, what I would actually like really like myself to have done is every time like I picked up on something, especially in placement, I would have wanted to go and research that further. I didn't really do a lot of that after in my first year. I kind of just like got home from placement, was like, oh, that's it. I'm going to bed. But I wish I had done
Yeah,
like further research on things because I would have developed more knowledge. For example, medications. Like even now, there's some like quite common medications I come across and I always forget what they're for. And I'm like, if I had just maybe like researched them a bit more, maybe in my first year when I first came across them, maybe I would be more familiar with them. Or in my first year, I mainly worked in like specialities, whereas now I'm working more in like it's like a area with mixed specialities. So it's not specific to one thing. But in my first year, I was working in like cardiac, surgical areas where you only come across like some medications in those kind of areas. So I kind of wish I had looked into those,
yeah.
and like conditions as well. I'm not like all confident with a lot of conditions, so I'm trying now to catch up with like being more familiar with them and the things that I need to do, because you don't realize like for some conditions you need to do certain things and there's certain policies for them, how you manage them. But sometimes you're not all that aware of that if you don't look into it and research within your own time. So that's what, even like first year students now, that's what I would recommend to them. If you come across something you're not familiar with, go home and like look up what it is for and
And
stuff and make
ask,
notes and
ask.
ask as well.
Do not do something because it feels right. Do something because you know it's right.
Yeah.
Do not get creative. Other people are responsible for you. Obviously, it's good that you're enthusiastic and you want to do things by your own, but please do it on your own, supervised at all times. You're
Mm.
not doing by law if you do it on your own.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
don't go over there and think you know it all. You're just starting. It may feel like you know a lot, but you do not. And you will know what I'm talking about when you get to third year.
Mm. And sometimes like certain things are not done for a reason. So like just if you see something's not done, maybe question it before going and doing it, if that makes sense. Maybe something's been stopped for a reason.
Yeah. Don't ask in front of the patients. Patients are very anxious.
Yeah.
Ask after, like, sorry, politely, sorry for my ignorance. Why did you do it like this? What's your rationale behind it? Because sometimes it may seem like no logic, but now that I'm
Yeah.
on my last year, I'm like, I know now why they did it like this.
Yeah.
And it sometimes it takes years for you to solve something that you thought all your time that was wrong.
Yeah,
So that's why I would
definitely.
say to first and second year. What would you say to your second year
Second
self?
year self, I would say I don't know actually. I quite liked my second year. The only thing I didn't like about my second year was my one of my placements. It was in an area, it was in theatres, and I just I hate theatres.
Mm.
I just like don't find it interesting
Yeah.
at all. That's the only thing I would want to change, like that placement. I didn't enjoy it. I didn't really learn a lot. I don't think I was that engaged. Just because like I didn't enjoy it, and the people that I worked with weren't always like very keen to teach. There was some people who were so keen to teach, but some others weren't. So what I did during that placement mainly was I did like bespoke days. I did a lot of bespoke days, but I kind of wish I had like maybe asked to change because I just didn't enjoy it. I didn't. I mean, I met some really nice people there. Like there was other students that I'm still friends with now, that I'm quite happy I met them, and I'm like I really do enjoy the friendship with them. But the actual placement itself,
Yeah.
I just wasn't a fan of really.
So yeah. Basically, I think it's very important that, shall I just say?
Yeah, yeah, you say.
So for me, I think be on your second year of adult nursing, it's so important that you put some ground rules on yourself. Even if you're having this type of experiences,
Mm,
please do not feel disappointed. Nothing is going to change if you feel disappointed.
yeah.
So enter your own world of your own expectancies. So like create, this week I must know all the protocol, all the bones they're touching, what they're doing, procedure. Try to know them prior. Try to create your own goals and expectations, so that will make you feel a bit more engaged. and take an iPad. Sometimes is okay to take iPad so you can research as you go, and then just ask a few questions. So sometimes people are not keen to teach you because they're literally not paid for it. It's expected them to do it, but they're not paid for it.
Mm.
So go there, do your best, be proactive, and always be positive. And even if you're having a good experiences, which was my case,
Mm.
I would recommend you to still do the same type of things. Have your goals and think about this year, a final year of second, at the end of your second year, sorry,
Mm.
you need to have this achieved, right? So,
Mm.
like, I wanted to do shadowing, palliative care, so many specialities and different sides of nursing. Just try to go to have at least one shift in ED. I think it's so important to know the entrance route of almost 90 to 100% of our patients are coming from ED. So it's important to know how it functions. And what you were saying as well is so important, that try to work as a HCA
Mm.
is good to know where everything is. So in case of an emergency, you know where a pad is, where Inca sheet is, where a toothbrush is, because it's important you know your ground.
Mm.
And if you don't know your ground, how you can once after you finish lead a whole team, a whole ward? How? You
Yeah.
don't know where the things are. And this is the bottom of your bright future. So I don't know if I'm saying it makes sense. I
Yeah,
feel like
it
it's
does
quite
make sense.
confusing.
Yeah.
So at the end of third year, what would you recommend?
At the end of my third year.
Or like beginning of third year, like, because you just finished second year, there's a lot of expectations because you're in final year now.
Yeah. I would say like when you start your third year, just have an idea of like how, because for me personally, when I started my third year, when I went into placement, primarily this placement, even my previous placement as well, like they gave me a lot more responsibility and they were like, "Do you want to take patients?" And I was like, "Hell yeah." But I think like a lot of people, and at first it was quite like overwhelming. I was like, "Oh my god, I'm
Scary. It
taking
is.
patients." But having an idea of how to manage patients is quite important. Like you can, even if it's like making a mind map of like all the different things that you need to be aware of for like certain patients, I think is quite important. I just kind of made an idea in myself and I was like, okay, like what do I need to do when I'm managing patients? I need to make sure their medication is on time. I need to make sure their obs are up to date. I need to make sure everyone's getting personal care. Even if that's myself helping or if that's other people helping, I need to make sure they're being, provided with
Yeah.
something. I need to make sure their skin is okay.
Yeah.
I need to make sure, there's no deterioration because that's all of that is on you.
Yeah.
Like if they find anything, they're gonna turn to the nurse and say, "Hey, why is this like that?" So you need to make sure that you have everything under control, which in some circumstances can be more difficult than others. So sometimes you don't have everything in control. And to be honest, sometimes that's understandable because like things can escalate quite quickly and
Yeah.
people can deteriorate very quickly.
Yeah.
And you need to be ready to,
Yeah.
you know, get involved because someone can go into a cardiac arrest like that. You never know
Hmm.
what's going to happen. So you just need to be prepared.
Yeah.
And that can be a very overwhelming thought for a lot of people. And a lot of people, even after graduating, when they're first starting, a lot of people are very nervous, which is like a very, very normal
Yeah.
response
Common.
to
Yeah.
graduating. And we're probably going to feel that ourselves. So I think just having an understanding of the things that you need to do, managing your time well, is just the key to,
Yeah.
beginning.
Yeah.
And everything comes with experience. Like,
Yeah.
for example, we're students. We've never had a day where we've just worked the whole shift by ourselves, taken 5 or 6 patients. So, like, everything comes with experience. Once you get started, is probably when you're going to start, knowing how to do things. But I think, like, watching other nurses and seeing what they do, how that goes well, like the benefits and the negatives of the things that they do is really important because you can pick up certain habits. So one habit I've picked up from a nurse that I've worked with a few times is every single beginning of her shift, like before she goes and even before she goes and sees her patients, what she does, she'll go and find the, like the respect forms, and she'll go through every single one to make sure those people who are down as like not for resus or for resus, have a relevant respect form in place, or either don't have one, and they are, for resus.
Yeah, it's good. So always try to have like a plan. Try to know what's your goal throughout the day. Obviously, try to see if there's any new procedure, any NG to be put in, any catheter that needs. Why your patient hasn't peed? Is he eating properly? Is he drinking properly? What's happening? Try to have a goal and start making yourself uncomfortable on the handovers. That's gonna be weird first times, but please try to be as independent as you can, because final placement or final year,
Yeah, definitely. That's the time.
you need to know everything. You had time. You can't be playing around.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I see some people who, in their final placement, they just kind of like, they relax quite a lot, and they'll like just, they won't do as much because they're like, oh, I'm nearly done, I don't need to do as much. But it's the best time to literally like take, you could even take all the patients and just like do everything for them, and have your supervisor just there for you. You could share the workload with them still, but they're mainly there to just keep an eye on you, make sure you're doing all right. Like, it's literally the best time. And I see a lot of like students that take advantage of that, and they don't really do as much in their final placement because they're like, I've been signed off of everything. And which, I mean, I get it. Like, as a student nurse who's like been, we've been through a lot, we've done a lot of work, and we do deserve to have a break. But this is just like literally like the perfect time. If you've got like good supervisors as well that will let you take everything, take all the patients and do everything, like, do it, just try it out, because then you have someone there. If anything goes wrong, you've got someone with you. When you qualify, you're not going to have no one. So it's the best time to like just get some confidence and some experience, in my opinion. And you were talking about handover is also the best time to identify where you can achieve your proficiencies, especially for something that you haven't done yet. So like, if you see like in your handover that someone needs a catheter change, and you still need to be signed off of, catheters in general, then just be like, can I do that? Can I try that?
Yeah.
The worst they can say is no,
Yeah.
and why they say no, I don't know, maybe it's a difficult patient. Always question it as well, like, why can't I do that? Because at the end of the day, you've got things that you need to be signed off of. You need those ticks in those boxes in order to pass your course. So just like try and find the learning opportunities where they are, and if they don't work out, maybe there's a reason for that.
Exactly.
Or maybe the patient doesn't want a student to do those kind of things, which is also very fair, because if you imagine yourself in their shoes, it's quite scary with having someone with very little experience do a procedure on you. So just be a bit understanding. Like, I've had patients turn around and say, can the nurse do that for me instead? And I've been like, of course. I'm very happy to step aside and just watch, or even go out of the room if you don't want me here. I fully understand, because they're in a very difficult position themselves, and it's very important that we're respectful and we adhere to their wishes. So just be understanding as well as keen and understanding. That's my statement.
Bringing it up, the top tips for us, from us as student final year adult nurses would be, what would you be for you? Yeah,
for someone who's just starting now,
going through.
So should we do 10, or should we do 10? So, or like, we can do a certain number. So the first one I would say is work as a bank HCA, or work in a hospital as bank as anything. Phlebotomist, HCA, porter, whatever. Just like have some basic experience, I would say. That's like really important. HCA is I would say HCA is most related to nursing, in terms of you work in the wards, you work alongside the nurses. So you can also like watch them, ask questions. You work with the doctors as well. You work with all the ward staff, really. Depends where you work as well, to be honest. But you work alongside a lot of the staff that you would work alongside as a nurse.
Yeah.
So I would say that's really important. And also, it gives you an income. I would say that's really important.
And you can always pop in like, sorry, I'm a student nurse. Can I just see this? I'm working here as my job. And people are going to build that trust on you as well.
Yeah.
Right. That I agree.
Second one, I see this a lot in you. Just like ask if you can watch things, if you can get
Yeah.
involved with things, even if you're like on shift, as you said, as a HCA, and you've done everything that you need to do. You can always just say like, hey, can I have some advice on this? Hey, can I watch this, if that's okay? Like, with everyone who's involved gives consent, especially the patient. As just like take those opportunities when they come up, so that you can just, you know, show that you're keen to learn, and also develop your knowledge, develop your experience. And again, the worst that anyone can say is no, just turn you away, and then you just get on with your job, or get on with the rest of your training.
Yeah.
Whatever you're doing, you just get
Yeah.
on with it. Doesn't matter. So that's another tip I would say. Another tip would be, when you're listening to like handovers, identify areas that you can achieve your proficiencies in. If there's someone that needs a catheter, someone that needs blood, someone needs a cannula, and you're there and you want to do it, just take that opportunity. Even if, like, again, worst they can say is no. And
Yeah.
then you just find somewhere else to do it.
Observe first. Don't go there and just prick someone with
Yeah, make sure you've
a
watched.
big needle on their skin.
Yeah, make sure you've watched someone actually do it, or like you've been talked through it, and make sure you've had your training on it as well. Because most hospitals and most unis do training on it, so make sure to attend your trainings before you actually do it, so that you know what you're doing. But yeah, just take opportunities and say, can I do? Go to the nurses and say to them, I want to do this. Can I do this?
Yes.
Because a lot of them will not say, do you want to do this? Some of them
Yeah.
will, and some of them will identify those learning objectives, but a lot of them won't. So it's really good that you go and you show that you're keen to achieve everything that you need to achieve, and just go to them and say, I want to do this. Can I? And like 9 times out of 10, they'll tell you, yeah, go on.
Yeah.
Let's get it done. Come on.
Yeah. And this proactivity will bring you so many benefits.
Yeah.
It shows that you're interested. It shows that you're keen to learn. It shows that you're comfortable in stepping up forward. And it shows that you're not a dull student just there to pass the time.
Yeah.
So this has got more benefits than just a no.
Yeah, and it passes the time as well. If you just try and do things and be proactive, it does like make the time go quicker, because they are long shifts. Like 12 and a half hours is not a short period of time, and you do get, sometimes you get quite bored, especially if there's nothing to do. I mean, when I'm bored, I will just go and chat to other people and like learn a bit about them themselves. Like, it's really good. I found, this is another tip, I found it's really nice to like mingle with the staff there and just become friends with everyone.
Networking.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, like, you're there for however many weeks, you become part of their team. So it's really nice to like mingle with them, you even make friends with some people and keep in contact with them after placements. So other students talk to other students, talk to other staff, like learn a bit about the people that you're working with, because that's what you're going to do when you actually qualify, and that's what you do in real jobs. You just like socialize with the people that you're there with. So that's, and crack a joke, you know, have a laugh. What's the, like, no one's going to come and say, hey, don't do that, or like tell you off for having a laugh, as long as you're not doing it when you're meant to be doing something else.
Yeah.
That's the only thing. Like, make sure you've got everything done before you start going and chatting with other people.
It's respectful conversation.
Yeah, respectful conversation. Yeah, definitely. Fifth, I would say, when you are on placement, if there's anything that you haven't come across, that you come across during your placement, when you go home, just research it. Just literally like a 5-minute Google. Just learn a little bit more about it, because that's something that I didn't do much of until like my second year, and I actually found it really helpful. Like, I did it for I had a community placement in my second year, and we dealt with a lot of dressings, so I would like research the dressings after I would use them, and I like learned so much about like the actual properties of the dressings. And even now, like, I still remember a lot of things that I searched up during that time, and I made notes about everything as well. So even in the hospital now, like, someone could tell me to get a certain dressing, and I'm like, I know what you're talking about, I'll go and get it. You know, it really does help you. And especially like wound care, some places, especially in hospitals, are not like the best at wound care, because they just don't know a lot about it. I don't think there's a lot of like what do you call it, a lot of, they don't use it as much as like other places like community. So I would say, actually, this is tip number 6, if you get the chance, do a community placement. They are so good. I loved my community placement, and it's really good for learning about diabetes, about wound care. You do a lot of syringe drivers. You do a lot of like random like injections, like different types of injections. You do a lot. You do some like emergency visits as well. It depends what area, what trust you work in, but they actually, I would say they're really good. And you go to a lot of like different people's homes, from different backgrounds as well. But I find it really, really, really interesting. And sometimes you like come across. Sometimes we'd get like emergency phone calls in where we would come across people with like certain different types of wounds that we had never seen before, and we would have to figure out what exactly we would put on it, how we would, you know, leave that, when the next visit would be. Like, you do a lot of catheters as well, lots of catheters.
Maintenance.
Yeah, you go to a lot of care homes, a lot of like sheltered living areas. Sometimes you also like, during my placement, we actually had someone that we had to raise like quite a big like safeguarding case about, because the area and the way that they were living was not right for them. They needed more assistance with their living. And it was like a first visit, so no one had actually realized how bad this person had been struggling until we went in there, and it was really difficult to see. So, and you also become familiar with lone working as well. Lone working can be, some people enjoy lone working, but it can be quite dangerous.
I do not enjoy that.
Yeah, it can be quite dangerous, and you learn about the different ways that you keep in communication and the different like protocols for lone working as well. So it's really interesting, actually, I would say. I hope at one point in my career that I go into community, because I really enjoyed it.
Right. Seventh?
Let me think about this one. I would say, when you get your assignments, always start them early. You have less time than you think that you have.
Yeah.
So sometimes they'll give them to you quite early on. Just like start getting an idea of what you're going to do your assignments on. And just like as early as possible, start them. Because sometimes I would leave my assignments for quite a while, and then I would start them and I would get really stressed out, especially in your third year. It depends how your uni works. Sometimes they'll give them to you whilst you're going to go on placement, so you're going to have like a lot of work at once, which is not fun for anyone. So just start them early, please.
Yeah.
And then 8th tip, I would say, don't. So I see a lot of students, they bring quite like, they go out of their way, especially on their first placements, to buy a lot of like scissors, pens, all these things. They will get lost. Someone will take everything that you own, that you are putting in your pockets. So literally, all I would turn up to placement, like someone will take it. I'm not kidding.
It's true.
I'm not kidding. Do you know the amount of pens that I have lost, that some doctor has just taken? I've never seen it again. Actually,
if someone steals from me, I'm sorry, I'm gonna steal back from somebody
do you know
else.
what I did the other day? I actually stole a pen, and it looks like quite an expensive pen from a doctor. It wasn't intentional. No, I didn't do it on purpose. Let me explain. The doctor gave it to a patient to like fill out a form with, and then the patient gave it to me, and she was like, "Can you give this back to the doctor? He left it with me." And I was like, "Okay," so I put it in my pocket, and I completely forgot about it, and I've still got it in my bag, and I don't know who it belongs to, so it's mine now. And it's like a really it's a really nice pen.
You crack me up, honestly. So this was not considering stealing.
Yeah, this is not. I apologize to whoever I stole that pen from. It's still in my bag. I'm not going to use it while I'm on this placement, because I'm scared that the doctor is going to see me use it and be like, "Hey, that's my pen." So I'm going to wait until my placement's over, and then I'm going to use it. So yeah, let's see. 9th tip. Do you have any tips? Because I can't think of anything.
Right. So I think that it's very important that you're mindful that if you have a terrible shift, that is not gonna design all your pattern of shifts. So that is just one off. try to be open-minded
That's
and
very
try
true.
to not make that too much of a big deal. If you see something that doesn't seem right, see it, say it, sort it.
Well said.
No, please, if you see something that seems like that is not good for your patients, obviously try to be mindful. Everyone does mistakes, like, you know. But like, if you see something that could be dangerous, a recurrent problem that is happening, please record it to someone that you trust, that won't spill the tea on you, or the whole team is gonna, you know,
Yeah, just like come in.
beat you up psychologically.
No, they wouldn't do that, to be honest. Like, if
Yeah.
you see something that you are not happy about, just tell your nurse in charge, or tell like your you have like academic assessors.
Yeah.
Get in contact with them, get in contact with the uni, just like tell someone that you trust.
Yeah.
Just, yeah, say something,
Say something.
because like that could save someone's life, you
Yeah.
know. It's quite important.
And if you're having a bad day with this nurse that doesn't let you, you can always ask respectfully, mindfully, to just go to another nurse that maybe
Yeah.
you have more confidence, more comfort. So just try to make your life easier a bit. So that's what is important, what Vanna was saying. Try to mingle and create some networking, because literally the people you're working with could literally save your day.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
open-minded. And my 10th tip
Yeah.
would be, this could go over, you know. So my 10th tip would be, please, please, please be organized. Think this is not what, like, if you're having a bad experience or something that is kind of shakes you a little bit on your organization, on your time schedule, on your personal life, because there's basically almost none personal life, but try to have some. Try to do something that at the end of your academic year you won't feel like you're lost, you don't know who you are. Just try to keep at least one thing that you like constantly
Definitely.
in your life, because that's so important for your well-being. So be positive, be organized with your schedule. As you said as well, with the assignments, it can be quite very, very intense, but please focus on your main goal, which is just finishing this degree. This is the most complicated, toughest degrees that exists due to the workload and unpaid. So we're just almost completed
Yeah.
2,300 hours, and this is a lot of experience. Also, if you work alongside as a HCA, you're gonna have so much experience. So when you qualified, you're quite sure what you want to do, and you give that confidence back to your patients, so they would trust you to take the bloods. They will trust you to do, because you need to have your fundamental anatomy, pathophysiology, you know, the protocol, you know, the guidelines. So you will come from a confident place that knows what they're doing. If you're not sure, always have a team.
Yeah, and a lot of, you just said like when you're finished, you're some, you know, you're ready to go.
Yeah.
So a lot of people get quite intimidated by their third year, because they're like, oh, I don't know where I want to go, I don't know where I want to start. I would say like a lot of people by the end of their third year, so I don't know what happens in the third year that makes it like a lot of people just realize what they want to do. You know, I don't know, like if there's something that happens, like a light just turns on halfway through your third year and you're like, I want to do this. But like, even if you
But
don't,
it's so complex in the beginning of
yeah,
third year. You're like, oh my god,
what should I
everyone
do?
knows what they want to, where they want to go, and I'm like, I don't know who I am.
What is my name? Who am I? I don't know. But the thing is, like, even if you don't have it all figured out by the end of your third year, just like apply somewhere.
Yeah.
And just like start somewhere. You need to start somewhere. Even if you don't enjoy it, you need to have a beginning point where you can realize, hey, I like this, I like that.
And you can just shift.
Yeah, and you can always just move on to a different area. Like, they're always looking for nurses.
So this is our tips. Obviously, we could go on and on, but this is the most important tips for us.
Yeah.
I hope you enjoy it. And if you have any questions, we are very lovely people. We can just answer to you in the chat. Thank you so much for watching.
Thank you. Can you all please subscribe to Silvana because she really deserves the subscriptions. Please subscribe to her. Please.
Thank you.
Bye.
Right. All right.